Hey guys, this is John.
Oh, and Patrick.
And this is another episode of Meatgistics. All right, so a couple things. We're recording this a week early. I'm out of town next week. We wanted to have something for you. We just recorded one yesterday with Austin and I. A pretty fun episode. First time we've got to sit down in a while, but he's not available for this. Patrick and I were trying to figure out, what are we going to talk about?
Yeah, what are we going to talk about?
We just did a full episode. Do we have something different enough in the pipes to talk about? And started looking up weird meat news, because that, just for whatever reason, is what I like to talk about probably more than anything on the podcast now.
Well, it's so interesting. How could you not? Yeah.
What people do is bizarre. So there's a story from over somewhere in Great Britain. Lamb chops stuffed inside car exhaust pipe as cops probe bizarre meat attacks. And there is an image. Somebody stuffed someone's tailpipes.
So breaking that one apart there. I love how the headlines are kind of like, what is actually going on there? But it's someone attacking, not necessarily people, but vandalizing cars with raw meat.
It is the weirdest vandalization ever. So the lamb chops are stuffed all the way into this exhaust pipe, like way up in there. And that one's odd. But then it was also followed up by somebody taking chicken legs and putting them on and in someone's tire. So like on top of the tire and then jammed in.
I want the footage of that, because you know that wasn't like one try. They kept sitting there and like, hold on, it's falling off. Which tire?
Move it this way. Was it just a butcher having a really bad day?
I'd like, hopefully they like know the guy and it's a gag, or like maybe he's a butcher or something, or maybe this happens a lot more often than we're giving it credit for in the butchering community. Or
maybe it's just a British thing. They're like, oh, got to get the lamb chops out of the tailpipe
over
again.
Here, how quickly would that be like, oh, this is vegan activism at its finest? Like they'd make a whole story out of it. This would be a frontline blurb.
This would end up as a hate crime for sure. Absolutely. Without a question.
Oh my gosh.
But just unbelievably bizarre. I imagine it was bored kids, because that's who does everything like this.
I wonder, could they trace where the chicken came from and then get footage of actual people, right?
I don't know. I do know
it's a big enough crime to take pictures of it and report on it in the first place. But
it's a bizarre enough crime.
Yeah.
I do know that I did go buy more chicken last night after
that. You bought chicken and bought ammo, right?
So it was like 22 million birds when we recorded that episode. After we got out, I saw another article that in was it Iowa? I want to say it was Iowa, but I might be wrong on that. Another flock that was like 13 million. So chicken is going to get real hard to find. This person's going to be really upset that they wasted some chicken legs. And I just like the word famine is now being used.
Oh, wow.
Which I don't think they're talking about what's going to happen in the US. But I don't know. I think your grocery bill is about to get a lot worse than what it was over the next couple of months.
It's so hard to even, like you said, digest and break down like what's actually happening. And we've brought it up before in the past, but I like that movie Super Size Me 2, the Morgan Spurlock stuff, where they really bite or do a deep dive into like
the chicken,
big chicken, and just that'll actually help make a lot of this stuff make a lot more sense. You know, especially for me when I read the headline, I can't really put two and two together, but when you break down and actually see them animate where, starts from eggs and then here and they get stuff, and there's actually how your yield is affected to the next year of how much feed you're allotted and stuff like that. It's very fascinating. So I recommend checking that out.
Yeah, and it's Super Size Me Too, and it's Morgan Spurlock.
Morgan Spurlock. Yeah, they kind of shelved it because he was part of the Me Too thing when it came out, which totally understandable. But it should be free on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so check it out, guys.
Cool. I've not seen that, so I will check that out. Moving on to a couple different stories. We've got the man dubbed Wolverine due to raw meat diet and says brains are his favorite food. This does not appear to be a troll. There are plenty of videos of him eating raw meat. There's plenty of videos of him eating brains. I would not recommend eating brains. I don't know if my father was in Vietnam, and part of his job was outreach to local elders, and they ate monkey brains.
Oh, so like in Temple of Doom?
Yep.
Yeah. See,
Yep. He told the story. It's not.
Well, I heard a story yesterday of apparently higher up elites, they eat some kind of baby bird whole or something. They grab it right by the beak and actually do it under a towel. It's more ceremonious.
You know what I know that from?
What's that?
American Dad.
So, okay. So
Roger
did something like this.
Yeah. Well, he's got. So that's. I was just thought that was a weird.
Oh, yeah. It reminded me of Temple of Doom because I always thought the monkey brain thing was weird, but apparently, which would be weirder, eating the monkey's brains or eating whatever bird they do in such a odd fashion. So they clear everything except the beak. I think they eat bone and all.
Dream about eating a live bird. Nope, just dream stuff.
Have you dreamed ever eating a live bird?
I know. But then there's another article about another man eating raw meat for 78 days as part of a caveman diet to see if he can survive. So there's a bunch of talk recently about the carnivore diet, eating all meat. And it is really interesting. There's some cool science behind it, how like you don't get scurvy because your body starts needing way less vitamin C when you're not eating any sugar or any carbs. So it's cool how your body adjusts. But I've been kind of mildly obsessed with this whole raw meat stuff for a while now. And those of you who are watching on YouTube can see that I've got a few pieces of raw meat in front of me. I've got a small piece of raw liver. I've got some freshly ground beef. And I've got a ribeye, which is my favorite steak. Our thought process was, first of all, if someone else on the internet can do it, I can definitely do it. But what is it actually like? I've brought up my iron gut many times. I'm 100% sure that my stomach can deal with this. I sanitized everything, the knife, the bowl, the cutting boards. I made sure that the meat was taken care of properly ahead of time. But I'm going to go ahead and try all of these and kind of report on what the taste, the flavor, and the texture is like. I'm going to go with the liver first because that's the one I want to eat the least.
Oh, okay. Get that one out of the way. Or is it too harsh of a taste that you won't? Well, we'll wait until your palate to cleanse.
We'll find out.
I'm going to ask you a million questions probably on each one.
Now, from the reading I did, it does sound like the liver is the easiest one to eat because you don't even need to chew it. Just basically put it on your tongue, swallow it down. And liver is loaded with all sorts of like really good, important nutrients. So hopefully eating this will give me a little bit of a jolt.
You're going to get jacked up.
So texture, not great.
Yeah,
not great.
Describe it. What are you feeling? It almost looks
it's very
gelatinous as you pick it up.
Mushy, gelatinous. But I mean, it is a liver, so that's to be expected. All right, here we go.
And John's mouth is already orange. He's been enjoying these new. He wants to grab one. They're like powder you put in that tastes like Skittles to his beverages,
and the orange one is my favorite. All right, so texture surprisingly not bad at all. If you've ever had a raw oyster, somewhat similar to that, probably a little bit less slimy.
Slimy, yep.
That might possibly be because it's thinner. As far as taste goes, I do not like it. I'm not impressed with that taste.
Do you feel your body rejecting it at all?
I do not feel my body rejecting it, but it's only been 10 seconds.
Okay.
I do definitely feel like a little bit of that taste coming up my throat.
Yeah.
Not like I'm going to throw up, but like I can kind of taste the flavor in the back of my throat still.
When you gave your dogs Mountain Lion, you said this kind of primalness came over them.
Yeah.
Do you feel any kind of urge to like roar or
to go lift weights or
you know what I mean? Like
I don't.
Well, I mean, not that we would know if it was staring us in the face, but kind of weird. You know, is there hair standing up on your neck? Do you feel salivating more? Do you?
Nope. Salivating more would probably be an indication that I was getting ready to vomit. So we're hoping to avoid that. No difference, but it's only been a minute, so I doubt there would be. I can see why people would go with that. A loaded with nutrients. B, absolutely easy to eat, especially if you're used to the taste of liver. I do not eat a lot of liver. So
should I call you Logan or Weapon X?
What is the Wolverine?
Yeah, Wolverine.
Snickety snoid. All right. So we're going to put the liver away from me.
Yes.
We're just going
to
push that out there.
Not bad.
Not a fan. We'll say that. All right. So the next one is the ground beef. So this is freshly ground beef. It is, I don't know, it's 80-20. Looks very nice and fresh. Nice red color to it. I've got probably just about a quarter pound right here. Ground beef seemed to be one of the things that people liked eating the most raw, saying that it's very easy to eat large amounts of it. And I imagine if you're eating all raw meat, you're looking for ease. Like that steak, I'm imagining that's going to be pretty rough. And I don't plan on eating all of that, by the way. I do plan on trying to consume all of this ground beef. Oh, wow.
Though. Really?
Yeah, it's a quarter pound of ground beef. It's not that much.
Well, you got to start with the first bite, right?
I wonder if I should have seasoned it. Probably should have put some ultimate steak and roast rub on it.
Do a bite without first so you can really get the full. All right, there he goes. Pops it in. You probably wouldn't have to do too much chewing. It's probably going to get pasty. What's the flavor like?
Nothing.
Really?
It tastes like nothing. That's interesting.
So can you separate, like if you got a more fatty piece, would you be able to taste that maybe?
I don't know. We'll find out.
All right. So initial thoughts. You just had first bite.
Way better than the liver. Definitely seems like you have to chew it a little bit more to get it ready to go down the gullet. Maybe I'll try a smaller piece and see if there's less chewing we can do.
And so why do we think you're
immediately my mind's like, no, you have to chew that.
So why do we think you're not just going to get violently ill after this?
As long as the meat is properly cared for.
What does that mean? Like loved?
I guess so.
It's got enough love for it.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I probably should not eat this entire.
Well, I'm just trying to think what's the science. Some people that when they first, I guess, I would love to read their first week's journey. Like, is the first day or two the roughest because they might have. Yeah. I mean, any diet change, you're going to the bathroom a little bit more. You're putting a wrench in your normal routine, right? So I imagine this is the biggest of wrenches to maybe put in your dietary.
I can't imagine this is the biggest wrenches. I mean, what is it? It's changing the way your body's processing the same thing. It's just one is cooked for texture and food safety. It's still the same thing your body's breaking down. As long as there's nothing wrong with the meat, I don't think I'm in any real trouble. Like when you go to a restaurant, the reason I at least want my burger cooked all the way through is because I have no idea what they're doing back there. Like how dirty is that griddle? How dirty is,
That's so funny. Every time if I go to a nice burger place and they go a little pink in the middle, I'm like, oh yeah. No, they totally know what they're doing here. It's if they ask you, they're experts. If they don't and it comes out pink, send it back.
Yeah, that's a fair point. One of the more interesting tips I'd heard on sending your food back is if you are going to send it back because something's wrong with it, over salt it so you know if they're just giving you the same thing back again. So as soon as you get it, you're like, no,
so
this
simple.
is the same thing.
I've never thought of that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. As far as taste goes, like I definitely have a little coating on the inside of my mouth of the fat. Yeah. Like I can feel that. And it seems to be specifically heavy particularly heavy on the back of my tongue.
Do you have is your stomach making any noises?
Nothing. Okay. Literally no. In fact, I think this helped. My stomach wasn't necessarily acting up, but I was aware of my stomach.
Were you hungry?
After the liver? Well, I am a little bit jazzed now.
Oh, wow. What if this becomes your thing?
I am a little bit more
wow.
aware.
Was it like drinking a cup of coffee kind of?
I don't know.
Well, when was the last time you had something that might affect you this way? Like you had an energy drink earlier, but you're so used to those.
First thing in the morning. Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't had an energy drink since I sat down on the desk this morning.
Okay. And it's
I don't know. I guess like a really strong cup of coffee.
Okay. But that came on quick.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, yeah. Almost like a natural high or something.
A little bit.
Yeah. Interesting.
Perhaps almost like a runner's high.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I feel very good.
Yeah, like jovial. You're in a good mood, maybe, if you weren't to begin with.
No, I've been in a good mood since we switched the website.
Finished the website. Yeah, you could like, oh, that's fun to like. You're like, what can I work on now?
Instead of just worry. It's like, okay, how can we like tweak this to make it better? Which is way more fun than
putting.
How can I make sure it doesn't break? So,
yeah,
that is a lot better. But no. This I'm a fan of.
That's
now,
funny.
I absolutely wouldn't recommend anybody do this at home. Obviously,
well, now
I'm better.
Yeah, add some seasoning now. You've had a couple bites. What do you think would pair well? You got to try Ultimate Steak and Roast. Yeah. This is fascinating. I love how you came up with this idea yesterday and you got the meat today. It's what took the convincing? You just saw 2 articles in a row.
I just like, I'm doing it.
I'm doing it.
I've been thinking about it for a while. Honestly, I thought about going to a all carnivore diet a while ago. At least some of what is causing this is I got on the scale the other day and I had promised myself I'd never go back over 200 pounds and I was like 204.
That was kind of
like donuts were brought into the office earlier.
Yeah.
By our like phone company or something. They left the whole box in there and I didn't touch one.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
And yesterday, same thing. There was donuts in purchasing. They offered me some and I did not have any of those
either. That's the way to do it.
So if I can turn down donuts, I'm doing well.
Yeah. And when I was like in high school, I was like close to like 280 pounds. So I lost like 60 some odd pounds. And that was like the number. It was like stay below 200 and that's a good milestone. But then once you realize like I can't maintain 200 once I was like down there.
Yeah.
Like I was either gaining or losing, but maintaining 200 was incredibly rough.
So seasoning.
Yeah.
Way better.
Oh, wow.
Way
I bet you the salt
better.
probably helps break down that initial,
wow.
Don't want to say barrier, but that initial gross taste maybe. But you said there's not
It's not a gross taste. There's no taste. The one thing that is sort of weird is what the fat does in your mouth. Because it even just as you're chewing it, you're breaking it down, your saliva is interacting with it. So it is like going to continue to coat your mouth. And with no Maillard effect, with no seasoning, it's just like the flavor of raw meat, so which isn't bad.
Tasting what you're smelling, essentially.
Yeah, but it's not like necessarily good. It's just,
I think it's
the seasoning and the cooking of meat that makes it taste good. Other than that, it's neutral.
I think it's interesting. I assumed raw meat eating would almost be like rancid meat. You know what I mean? Like there was like, well, we all know rancid meat is gross and you smell it, but like, I assumed consuming raw meat, I would have the same kind of visceral, like, get it out of, gross.
That first bite, I won't lie, was a little bit hard. But I think going with the liver first was good. Oh, nice. Because we got that one out of the way. And then I was like, okay, nice. I'm going to be all right from here on out. So we are at about, I don't know, probably about half of that, of what I put out here done. So I would say probably should be done with this so that we can see what that is while I still have some appetite.
Sure. I think, you've had enough bites of the ground beef.
What?
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
That's so funny.
I'm going to grab a different knife.
You got to be like that guy outside of Whole Foods and just start eating it like it's a corn dog. Just take it in your hand. What is this?
The guy he's talking about outside of Whole Foods, was literally just standing outside of Whole Foods and like taking huge chunks of or huge bites of chunks of meat and just like forcing it down. I don't understand.
He seemed to be enjoying himself though. Like you could tell that wasn't his first raw steak.
No, that's fair. But what is with the brains? Why are they eating brains?
I probably more.
Isn't that where like a prion disease comes from?
It could be more nutrients, but yeah, there could be parasites. I don't care about the nutrients. There could be parasites
in your brain.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's even like one parasite that famously, I mean, not to humans, but I'm thinking of like, gosh, what do you call it? Oh, praying mantises. There might have been some weird thing in their brain. I can't remember. Yeah. That's not my expertise. I love it. I love how podcasts allow you to just be dead wrong on things you're not experts in.
Sure.
It's just, sure. Like, having said that, I may be totally wrong.
If someone's going to listen to me, I'm going to talk.
Yeah. I'm going to try to offer a well thought out opinion, but I don't want to sound arrogant and like I know what I'm talking about.
I've been trained for that my entire life. If someone's listening, I am talking. So the inside of the steak, obviously a far darker blue than the rest of it. We're going to cut this up into very small pieces. I do want to be able to chew them, but I don't want to struggle chewing them because I imagine if I was going to have some sort of gag reflex, it would be around trying to chew too much meat. So very small little piece there.
Okay.
Considering cutting it into a smaller piece, what do you think?
Dude, I'm still in shock and awe of you right now. So go for it, whatever you're comfortable with. Here he goes, rips it in there. Nodding likes that more than the ground beef. Yep.
Yeah, that is significantly better than the ground beef.
Probably the amount of fat then, right? Or just the whole maybe just like the whole muscle tear.
I'm going to try eating just a piece of the fat.
I feel like, I don't know.
No, I think it is actually the meat itself. Now, the real test for this is going to be if I'm in tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Like, have I given myself food poisoning?
It was almost genius. You went like, well, it's documented. I get, we got footage out of it.
Boy, it is. I'm surprised at how much I like that steak.
Wow.
So it's a ribeye. Ribeye is my favorite cut of the steak. I did not cut into the cap, because I was planning on
not liking it, and then
I was planning on cooking it later so that I could salvage something from this.
Wow. It's almost like a parlor trick. Bring your friends over. Hey, who wants theirs rare?
Extra raw,
and then you bring yours out and you start eating it raw.
Just like while maintaining eye contact with everyone.
Oh, yeah. Don't break stride.
Move.
Yeah. I wonder if there's something to that. Like, I view, like, we're all animals of earth. I wonder if I view you now more as like, I can't look you in the eye. You've been eating raw meat.
Well, I don't know if it's true or not, but there was the urban legend or whatever that like people who have eaten dogs smell that on them. Well, I mean, dogs can smell like cancer. They can tell when you're about to have a seizure.
Okay. Yeah, so, you're not wrong. Yeah.
I don't know. So are now other humans going to, well, I'm not eating human, so I guess.
Yeah. Well, that we know of. Wouldn't that be
that you know of?
Yeah.
That you know of.
All of our meat is actually, that's what we do with, we don't put them in the ground. That's what we do. They're Soylent Green. It's people.
I'm going to continue eating this.
Yeah, go for it. That's how you know it's good.
What I should do, though, is stop.
He's probably going to
What I should do is stop, because the more I eat, if something does go wrong, the worse it'll be.
As he just throws on another piece.
Right. I'm not probably going to stop. All right. So while I'm going to continue eating this, we continue talking about it. Texture is on the steak is absolutely phenomenal. That might be the biggest shock to me is how tender.
Yeah, you weren't chewing very
that
long.
Meat is at all. And how much I like the fat. I thought the fat would be the biggest problem of this, but it's not. It's nice. It's flavorful. I probably should have taken a bite of it before I put any seasoning on it to see how much different.
Once you got salt on your palate, it's kind of
it's over.
Yeah.
But yeah, the texture's awesome. The flavor is absolutely phenomenal.
Was there anything else in the article we wanted to touch on that maybe they mentioned about the meat? Not that we can.
Those guys are sissies. I'm now the raw meat king.
Oh, yeah. The raw meat king.
This is now my thing. Yeah, I don't know. This absolutely phenomenal. I would not recommend anyone do it at home.
Yeah, disclaimer.
Obviously.
We recommend not doing it at home.
We recommend cooking your meat. In fact, we've released hundreds of videos based all around cooking your meat. But have always wanted to try this.
Interesting. I'm surprised it went over this well. That there wasn't a single. I mean, like, we ate tofu and threw it in the garbage.
That was the worst thing I've. The worst thing? I think that might have been the worst thing I've ever tasted.
Had like that cinnamon flavor to it somehow.
We never even released that. It was part of a podcast, right?
Yeah, it was part of one of our first.
So we were going to do a recipe for disaster, but it was too bad to even do that.
We'll have to double check the archives. There might be something out there. But
I remember we had the garbage can in between us here, and I spit it out right into it. And
that was the best shot. That ended it. You go,
never going to touch that stuff again. So terrible. And I've eaten tofu before. I've eaten tempeh, like all of those fake meat stuffs. My wife used to be a vegetarian, so I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
It was just, as a bratwurst, it was disgusting.
Oh, for sure.
Flat out disgusting. So a couple of things on Meatgistics recently. We have created a dark mode. So at the top right of your screen, there's a little light bulb icon. You can click it and cycle back and forth between dark and light mode. It is working on most people's apps. We do have the Meatgistics app for Android. We will eventually have one for Apple as well. But we also changed how suggested topics come up for you at the bottom of the post. So if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the post, there's a little section that says suggested topics. It's now sorted by date and by suggestion, like kind of relevant to what you're currently reading. There's definitely some more work to do on tweaking that, making that a little bit more exact. But we're doing that. We also added a Meatgistics commercial, like a what is Meatgistics, to the bottom of the page. We're going to add a Walton's one down there as well. Just trying to keep making improvements on it. For anyone who's at above 500 posts with the Walton's hat that they get with their Meatgistics name stitched on it, I just went through and polled everybody who qualifies for that. So I emailed them out. Then the boards, I think there was one person who qualified for a board. That's over 1,000. And then there were like 8 people for the knives. The knives are 1,500 posts or more, and you get that knife right back there with your Meatgistics name somehow put onto it. I can't remember how, but somehow. Some of that is because we were out of stock on those knives for a long time. We finally got them back in. So I'm sending them out to have them processed today. So we should be back on track for all the Meatgistics reward stuffs. We also do have a new level. It's 2,000, and that will get you a really nice, what is it called? Ogio?
Yeah, I think that's how you say it.
Ogio? Something like that. It's a really nice material polo shirt, and it'll have your name, your username embroidered onto it, the Walton's logo, and then the Meatgistics leather patch on the sleeve. So we're back onto track on that. I'm sorry we fell off, or that fell off. A, we didn't have the stock of the knives, and B, I just was busy doing things with the website.
Yeah.
So we're also interviewing right now for a position. It's a social media assistant, but that person will also be very active on Meatgistics, answering questions, interacting with you guys, and hopefully just escalating anything to Austin and I that we don't see that needs addressing in some way. One of the things that was just a disappointment through 2021 was how little we got to interact with everybody on Meatgistics, because we really obviously do enjoy that aspect of the job. The other day I got to talk to somebody. It was the guy who had, or was at least played a crucial role in getting me that obliterator up there. I got to talk to him for like half an hour and was like, God, I miss this. Just getting to actually talk to users, talk to customers, like, figure out what's going on. Like, it's invaluable to us as a company to be able to talk to customers and Meatgistics users and figure out what we're doing that works, what we're doing that doesn't, so that we don't just go down some weird path. Specifically with like social media posts and videos, because we could do things that get a ton of views, a ton of clicks, a ton of whatever. But if it's not the type of content that our customers and our core group want, then it's not really doing anything for us. So that ability to interact back and forth with you guys is very, very good, very valuable. Makes a lot of the stuff we time we spend and money we spend on things like Meatgistics and things like the YouTube videos a lot easier. There was one other thing I was going to say. Oh, our hosting company, I had the wrap up meeting for transition or flipping live with them. Usually they said they would not consider us passed off to being done for another week or so, but she said this was the smoothest she's ever seen. And she said, and I quote, "You guys are rock stars."
Oh man.
Now I took that to mean me and only me, and I'm not sharing that compliment with anyone else. That is basically all mine. But there were a few other people here who helped a little bit. Austin did some stuff. Another Austin, Linhart, definitely was a help. Rachel, who is our website coordinator, was a big help. Pat, who is our graphics manager, did a great job testing the website, found a bunch of like little tiny things. It was like, wow, we can fix that right now. I think that's only the people who helped. No one else did anything, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
And then Patrick, obviously.
I'm the, what's the guy that doesn't lift anything and he makes sure everything's going right? Just like, like the director. I go, yeah, no, looks good, guys. keep up the great work, everybody.
Patrick did a good job testing, making sure things were purchasable.
Yes.
So he did a lot of like adding things to cart. Because one of the things that happened last time was we had no idea that so many of our products you couldn't add to the cart when we flipped live last time, because
who's going to test 4,000
like 4,000 things. We can't go through and check them all. But this time we probably didn't add everything, but we definitely did like at least a few things from every category. The only thing we did have a problem with for a while, we do have some products that are not stock items, so not things we keep here, and things that are never going to come here. We ship them directly from the manufacturer. Because how we had it set up for the first few days, some of those items like trolley rail hangers were just showing as notify me when it's back in stock, but they're never going to be in stock. So that product page might as well have not been there. You never would have gotten a notification that it was going to be in stock, and there was no way to order it. So we fixed that. We went through a list of a bunch of other products that were similar to that and made sure that they're all working now, and they are. So the next thing to do is some stuff on the blog.
Yeah, what's funny is I did way more stuff to the first website migration we did than on this new.
Yeah, we kept you as far away from this as possible. Austin and I had a meeting where like, what was the biggest problem? We both said it was probably Patrick.
My involvement? No. There was times where like you'd say things and you're like, you did that, right? I was like, wait, I'm supposed to do something on that? And like, I'd be like, what are you talking about? I go, unless it's like moves, via, unless there's like 60 pictures a second, I don't want to be involved.
Are you talking about this time or last time?
Oh, probably last time. I'd be like, you guys say a word. I go, no, totally did that. Totally did that.
Well, what helped this time is we never got out of website migration mode.
Yeah.
Because
before we kept trying to do all the normal stuff.
But middle of 2020, we started focusing on the migration for 2021. That happened. We had problems for a full year, and so we were constantly working on that. So we just rolled into more of the same with getting ready for this migration. Mm-hmm. So it helped that we never like got back into shooting 2 videos a week and like doing all that.
Oh yeah, we had those 3 little short ones. We do a hack, seasoning Sunday, and we're looking at other stuff to promote on social media too. There might be some like guess the seasoning stuff coming out, but just kind of moreover pushing you guys towards good equipment and good flavors for all your meat snacks. And we love doing this niche hobby with you guys. So, we were a bigger fan. I remember when we got Stuffer Flusher eggs, we were super pumped on those.
So with the Stuffer Flusher eggs, our shipping manager and he saw them come in and he goes, "What are these?" Yeah, obviously thinking they're ridiculous.
So
I'm
absurd,
like, dude, it's just not a gimmick, because that's wrong. I'm like, it's just
accessory.
It's a little accessory. Like,
it's our color.
We'll have them
it
for
actually
a while.
Works.
Yep.
It was doing this little thing that we noticed could
in a year
help.
We'll sell them all and probably not order more. They sold out in like 2 weeks. So I went back and saw him and he's like, "Oh, I guess I was wrong." I'm like, yes, you were.
Well, starting, they are on sale all the rest of the month of April. And then starting next, I have it for Wednesday. There will be free shipping on all orders over $75 or more using code EGGS, EGGS. So that's a little Easter thing for you guys. And as this will come out, probably the same week of. So,
and Patrick is gonna be doing a lot more of the digital marketing stuff. So little things like that, little codes, little Easter eggs, I guess, necessary, right?
Nice.
Yeah, little things that you guys can use for smaller discounts or like little cool things. We'll be doing more of that. Obviously, he'll be more involved in the podcast for sure. Austin still wants to be on the vast majority of the live streams, but we've not that he loves talking to you guys, but we've got better things for him to be doing. Like just honestly, he can have a bigger effect doing other things. Me, there's not that much else I can do. Like I can talk.
Yeah, let's just keep talking, man.
That's about it. About it. Okay. So the stuffer flushers, we sold 44 in February, which was all of them. Then we sold 24 in March, and we've already sold 15 in April.
Dude, that's still, I didn't like.
That's ridiculous.
The fact that people are like,
we're going to have to order more again.
Well, we haven't like promoted those in a way that would make you think that those numbers were legit.
That's a good point. All right.
Like we didn't even go, hey, check these out. Like on a live stream once.
I think we did.
We go, hey, do these.
Oh, you're saying we did it once.
Yeah, but we didn't. There wasn't a dedicated video. It wasn't part of a giveaway. I mean, unless people saw that portion of a giveaway.
All right. I was just about to complain that we'd sold so many of those and not enough suction cup feet.
Yeah, no.
We've sold a bunch of suction cup feet.
Good. I would argue these are, suction cup feet 1A and then
take a guess. We got them last November. Take a guess how many we've sold of the suction cup feet. If you're too high, there will be a penalty.
All right. So
keep it reasonable.
You said total number.
Total number between November and now.
90.
400.
Oh, Jesus.
Right.
I was going to say 170. I thought that was going to be high. So 400. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
So that means people that already had them or already had stuffers probably got some. Yeah. Yep. I mean,
if you're listening to this right now and you're thinking about getting a stuffer, if you buy one of the dual speed stuffers, those suction cup feet will be added to your cart for free. Mm-hmm. So we are running that special all month. We're also giving away this month the chambered vacuum sealer. So go to waltons.com/win. It is going to take me a long time to forget that it was Walton's Ink.
Drop the ink. Yep.
It's going to be hard. But yeah, so everything is waltons.com right now. Your Walton's Ink links will always work.
It will still say Walton's Ink on YouTube. I don't know if there's a way to
that's right. We
change that, but
we got busy doing other things. But yeah. But your links, if you like bookmarked something, it should always work. We're never planning on getting rid of the Walton's Ink. And just honestly, so there's something called SEO, which is search engine optimization. If we did not forward those links, Google would see these. Like it wouldn't look at waltonsinc.com/win. Everything that pushed towards that, waltons.com/win would be like new. It wouldn't have built up a reputation in Google's mind. So by forwarding that, we make it easier for customers and we also make it better for our search engine optimization. But,
nice.
What we're going to do is we've been talking for about 35-ish minutes, somewhere around there. We're going to cut this a little bit short because we're going to come back and record a short segment tomorrow on this.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think it'll be worth seeing how I'm feeling 24 hours out.
Oh, I could do that.
Right now,
what do you feel?
I feel amazing.
Okay.
I might change my pre-workout to a little bit of raw beef and some...
Are you being serious?
I feel like jacked up.
$1 million right now, huh?
I really feel good. Like I feel fully awake for the first time in a long time.
I hope there's not a crash, but it sounds promising.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Maybe that's the parasite taking over my body, though.
So if we end it right now, then the next thing they hear is going to be, yeah. So
no, I have literally no stomach discomfort. No, nothing.
Yeah. What do you have? Anything else you want to get to before that you'll hear us in probably about 10 seconds?
No. I mean, other than that, I'm going to next week. The reason I'm going to be gone is I'm going to Iowa State University for a short course on dried and semi-dried sausages. So very much hoping that this can be the year where we start getting some good content out on like how to make semi-dried salami, pepperoni, and then even some like full dried stuff. That's going to be a little bit weird, but
we might as well become experts on it. People always ask us about dry aging. We go, well, it's a long process and you guys can't afford the thing, but we got
not
one.
To be right.
But we've
got one. You can't afford one. Not to be like that, but I mean, we sell
these
one,
are expensive.
so we have it. Yeah, they are very expensive.
If you're in the market and know what you're doing with it, sure. But
the problem with that is that we're going to tell you have to hold it at this temperature with this humidity for this long, or like until the pH drops by this much. Like that's going to be our instruction. Most likely what you're doing at home is hanging it in your basement, right? That's like
hoping for the best. Yeah.
I grew up in upstate New York. All the Italians, like all the little old Italian men would hang stuff in their basement in October.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, the humidity's right for it now. And I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
Like literally never even crossed my mind. I'm like, oh, they know what they're doing. And now I look back at it and I'm like, oh, at least a few people died from that.
Well,
at least a few.
I bet you until it becomes a lot more popular and everyone's doing it, that's just what dry cure cabinets are going to cost and everything like that. But I bet you in 10 years, you could find one half the price of what it's going for.
I don't think so. I think
it'll take another 100 years before it'll
I think things are getting more expensive.
Oh, I think that's a good point.
I think it's going the other way.
Well, I'm viewing it from like, I'm into cameras. Technology 10 years ago didn't allow you to spend $2,000 and get half the quality of cameras
sure.
used.
Yep, absolutely.
Now,
wait till next year and see how much
logic,
more these cameras are going to be.
Great point.
Already, the Google Pixel Buds, I could not get a replacement.
You're talking about earbuds?
Well, I mean, they're incredibly like high tech. Yeah. I couldn't get a replacement for them because Google couldn't get the materials to make anymore.
Yeah, the materials.
They had to make the Pixel Bud A series, which is a step down.
Yeah, and they're talking about chips.
Chips are going to be really hard to get. So I don't know. But anyways, all right, we will be back in 24-ish hours. Yep. So we'll see you then.
All right, Godspeed.
All right. So we're back. It's been 20-ish hours, somewhere around there. And not a single problem. I felt fine all night. Slept like a rock.
You were jazzed up yesterday.
I was jazzed up yesterday.
Right after we cut, he goes, man, this is the new thing. I'm going to do this every morning.
Yeah, I even considered changing my pre-workout, which is like the strongest stimulants you can get with this, because I felt great. Now, I don't know how much of that is just a mental thing.
Sure.
I mean, definitely some of it. But I was waiting last night. I was kind of like, all right, when is it going to hit? When's my stomach going to start getting upset? When am I going to start having problems? And not a single thing. The only thing that happened is I now carry this knife around with me so that I can cut steak, because it's just it's the right level of manliness for me now, I think.
That's a good side.
And I think you need to start calling me Jonathan.
Oh, okay.
I think John's no longer acceptable.
I need to update your name when it comes across the bottom. Jonathan.
Now,
you have to eat at least one raw steak to earn your thin. So
that's right. Now, as far as these steaks, one thing we didn't touch on yesterday was sourcing. I got these from a butcher shop, and that beef was fresh ground from that butcher shop. So I would say if you wanted to try something like this, which we don't recommend, I would definitely pay real good attention to the meat you're getting. These had a really nice redness. They were fresh. I talked to the butcher about my plan, what to do. He assured me that the ground beef had just been ground, I think that morning, I think he said. Steaks were fresh, obviously, and absolutely delicious. I was interested to take that bite because I wanted to see if it was like the liver was so bad.
Yeah.
And then the ground beef was neutral. So then the steak
would trend upward to your palate. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I still very much enjoy it. Definitely easier to eat if you put a little bit of Ultimate Steak and Roast rub on it.
There's got to be something to the salt breaking down some enzymes. Something, there might be something a little
that would be super fast.
Oh, sure. Well, that's what your taste buds do and stuff like that. So
Your taste buds don't
well, not
break
your
down
necessarily.
enzymes.
Well, something the enzymes in your mouth help break down food. So saliva actually has more than one property.
Right.
So maybe it's mimicking something like that.
Could be, but yeah, no. Right away again, delicious. Really, really tasty. I cannot wait to start freaking people out at like house parties.
Yes, please.
I'm just going to start carting them steak and eating it.
Yeah, bring it with you like it's popcorn chicken.
Yep.
Does anybody
Stand real close to them and just stare them in the eye.
Does anybody want some ribeye? I got some trimmings here. Yeah.
Just eat it up.
Oh, they're gonna think it's like a pastry or something. Like
they won't believe it. That's a cake.
Yeah.
That's a cake.
Oh, trick people into thinking it's cake, please.
Which is what we've done here. This is just cake.
Oh man. Perfect April Fools. We should have did, but you're actually eating real raw meat.
One more thing on this. The guys we were watching were eating a lot more than just beef. One of the guys Austin and I talked about a long time ago was eating raw chicken.
Oh, okay.
That is psychotic.
That's where we're drawing the
line. And I'm hoping that man is now in an insane asylum for the criminally insane, because that is a terrible idea.
If it has wings, better watch out.
Oh, that's a good question. Would I eat like... No, I wouldn't. I was thinking like Dove or something like that. I would not.
Yeah, any poultry.
Don't know why I'm more comfortable with beef.
It's got to be. I mean, I don't know. You're not cooking it, so I have no idea.
It. Yeah. Something that is important. We told you at least yesterday that we sanitized everything before.
Now, what do you mean when you say that exactly?
So you can use like hard quartz sanitizer. We sell it. It's the Maxim, or the wipes. You want to make sure. Because like 99% of any bacteria that's going to be on a piece of like whole muscle like this lives on the outside. So the part that's been cut or the part that's just like naturally exposed. You want to make sure your knife is super clean, your board is super clean, everything is really clean, because as soon as you even cut down into it, you've now introduced that bacteria to all of it. Now we're eating this raw, so it doesn't matter as much.
That's what I'm saying. So,
because it's not getting cooked anyways. But you still want to make sure, absolutely, you don't want something to have been on this board, living on this board, put raw steak on it, and then eat it. That is asking for serious problems. So make sure you sanitize everything really well.
And those are food safe sanitation wipes and spray. So yeah, Yep. It's not like you're just taking Lysol on there.
No, don't do that. I did think... I was toying with the idea yesterday before I did this of getting like a really strong lemon juice or something.
Yeah.
And just hitting the outside with it for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And letting that kills.
Ceviche or something.
We'll just let it kill anything that's on there by dropping the pH. But I didn't want to mess with the taste of the steak. And in the end, I'm glad I didn't. One of the things I'm definitely going to try now is tiger meat.
Okay, definitely.
That's the ground beef. And then I think you add some lemon and a few other things. It's supposed to be really good, and I now see why people say that. I feel like I'm more enlightened than the average person.
Well, now you are.
Like I can see beyond the veil.
Yeah, well, you have the experience now of eating. You're more primal, you're more caveman-esque, but that almost advances.
When I walked in the house last night, both my dogs laid down on their tummies and then rolled over their backs, exposing their stomachs to me. So maybe there's something to it. I don't know. But no, all in all, delicious. Don't try it at home, but if you do try it at home, let me know what you think in the comments on this post.
Perfect. Well, you got anything else you want to hit on?
Do I?
God, don't take so long to think about it.
I'm just trying to think if there's anything. No.
Oh, yeah. Well,
no, we're good.
All right, guys. Well, remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
I'm going to keep eating.
Yes, please. And check out the new Waltons.com and Meatgistics. Check us out. Get podcasts on YouTube, Spotify.
Anywhere you get your podcast.
Yeah, wherever the crazy kids do it nowadays. So, all right.
I'm too busy eating meat like a man to talk.
Later, guys.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltonsinc.com. And to get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Waltons, everything but the meat.